Hi, Penny with Sage Butterfly Designs. I've had some new subscribers, so I wanted to do a quick introduction of myself since this is going to be a kind of a special video. I'm doing a WIP Parade, so we'll be able to see all my WIPs. I decided to do that this time around, see how that works out. So, again, my name is Penny. I want to welcome you to my channel. I know I'm a little bit scattered. I'll do a life update at the end for those that have been around for a while and are interested. And that's Beau sneaking out. He's gonna sneak out apparently. Are you gonna peek in at me? Hi. What are you doing? Gonna come and go as he wants apparently. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about my life update a little later. But this channel is about my cross-stitch journey to include some designing, my learning specialty stitches, trying some different things. I'm located in Charleston, South Carolina. It's on the coast. Let's see here. I own an elopement company and I do photography for the elopements. And that's my towels that are now dry. But when I was doing my quarterly okay, welcome back. So the big crash, I was actually, since I wanted to do this WIP Parade, I was doing my end of month accounting. And I was like, or my quarterly, well, end of month and quarterly accounting. And I was like, why don't I do an end of quarter WIP? I know I did kind of a overview last video as far as, how I did for March and everything. But I'm like, let's go ahead and do a WIP overview. And that way, at the end of the year, it's not so big. So I went ahead and I actually took almost everything out of the hoop and ironed it. And I left, the iron was unplugged and everything, but it was on the kitchen table or dining room table. And the towel was there and that crash was him grabbing the towel and trying to pull it. And the iron went, but it landed on the towel and it was only a second, so it didn't burn anything. Or life with a puppy. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I love him to death. Okay, so WIP Parade, I decided to go in order of oldest to newest. So my oldest WIP is missing its paper. Sorry. All right, let's try that again. My oldest WIP is Heaven and Earth Design, Storykeep Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Fairytale. Why don't I even say what it's really called? Okay. And then right here you can see a small picture of how it's supposed to look. And I blew up the picture so you could see it a little bit better here, especially since I'm way up here in this arena. So there's a better picture of that. And where I'm at, I have not worked on it. So it's where it is, where you saw it last time, but it's been ironed and it's out of the hoop. So I'm going to show you where we're at. So this is where we are at with it. According to Markup XP, I am at 12%. And you can see right there's the unicorn, a book, a flag. Right here's a tree. There's a elf in the tree. But I'll step back so you can see. It's not a small project. It's very big. So that's how I feel about it, buddy. Yeah. So that is that. This one is not going to be touched for at least, get out of the window. Yes, it was the mail truck. This will not be bought out until probably next quarter's WIP, and I probably will at that point say, okay, I'll either work on it this upcoming quarter or not, but definitely this quarter it's not going to be worked on. Too many other things going on for it. Where am I going to stack things? Hold on just a second, let me figure this out. Put it over here. Okay, the next is Tinctorium, my chatelaine. And part one is this centerpiece here, which is what I am still working on. And I have another photo with it, somebody that stitched it up, and it's a bit bigger, so you can kind of get a better impression of it. And it too is out of the hoop and ironed. And here is where I am at. This is the top, because I know I've only done the top part of this. Once I start getting other angles, then I'll have to like mark the top or do something to where I will know where the top is. And again, so it was folded up very nicely and ironed. I ironed these and everything, but as you can see, huge, another huge project. And I know I said this on my last video, but this one is going to be going away for until the summer. I've got too much with the wedding business. Springs are just too busy and I can't focus on it. When I say summer, it's probably July. So when I reevaluate for the next quarter, probably when it'll come out. It should come out probably in July or August, because both of those months are slower for me, so I can concentrate on it more. Next up is Floral Dream, and I always do this, and I try not to. I'll go back. Once Upon a Time, Fairytale. I have an Earth design. It's on 18 count, fully gridded, and I'm doing the full cross stitch on it. And I started that in February of 2022. So last February I started it. And I am going to, because I know I'll end up forgetting something along the line, all of the details will be in the description below. So if I forget to say what it is and all that kind of fun stuff, that's where it will be, I promise. Tinctorium, this is on 28 count pewter lugana by Zweigart, and I started that in June of 2022. Okay, Floral Dream. I know you've all seen this one many a times. At least I get work on it, so you do see it many a times. And usually she's in a hoop, though you don't get to see her in all her glory. So this is where I am at with her. And this is, obviously you saw the pattern, but it is Floral Dream by Nora. I'm reading my notes out so you guys will get all the information here. Floral Dream by Nora Corbett, 28 count blueberry. Pull it back so y'all can see it better. 28 count blueberry by Crossed Wing Collection, and I started this in August of 2022. My goal for April is to finish the blanket right in here. This is as far down as the blanket goes, so I just have this like corner here. Don't know that I'll get all that done in April, but that's the goal. We will see. All right, now this one I've worked on since you've last seen it, and this is the Nora Corbett Santa's Sleigh. And the way the pattern is, it's like cut about right in here. So I'm working on this half of the sleigh. And this one is, yeah, that's the way it goes. Make sure I wasn't had upside down there. This is where I'm at. And I got some work done in the ribbons, in the red ribbons there. And this is a piece of 32 count Mint Splash by Stitched Modern. And I started this in November of 2022. The white, I'm gonna have to fold this so I can actually hold it up and show you. Okay, the white areas in here, some of it is on beads, but most of it I'm in need of 421 cry neck. So I need to order that. So I'll probably get that ordered here the next day or so I can get that in and be able to work on that. All right, next up is Miribilia's Lavender Mist. And you've seen this one many times as well. I've started this one in January 1st. And this is part of the Teresa Made Me Do It Sal. And on the page that I'm working on, it goes right here where her fingers are over. So it's this piece right here that I'm currently working on. And this is where she is at. This right here is as far over as it'll go, so all that's excess. And then from there I'm working my way down before I go up. But it's a big piece of fabric. I know I'm giving myself plenty of border. Like I said, this here's the end, and that's what, about 3 or 4 inches at least. So I gave myself plenty of border. I'll be framing it for my best friend. And this is 32 count Aurora is the fabric. 32 count Aurora by Silkweaver. Not fun putting everything back in their hoops, but that's okay. Everything needs a hoop break and a hit with the iron every now and then. They don't get too permanently wrinkled, I guess. Oh, Lavender Mist I worked on. What did I do with her? I did some of this pink right in here, and I finished off over in here, this area. So I worked on that. The greens, the purples, and the pinks. So I did work on that since you last seen it. All right, next up is the Teresa Kogut Freedom. I'm sure you can see that. I'm not doing the bird, but I'm doing the rest of this right in here. And I did work on her, worked on it, whatever, it's not a her. Flowers, so I just assumed her, I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I did work on this. I finished this flower and I got this leaf done. And this is the end of page, I call it page 3 because I did 1, 2, 3. So all I have left is 4, which I think actually it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, but I did it backwards. I started down here. So yeah, so that I just have that one last piece of page there, which would be on this side. So I've already got this flower done. So it would be this flower and the 2 leaves. That's all that's left of that. So hopefully that'll be finished soon. Next up is Christmas Eve Cottage Garden. I call it my Santa. And that was 14 count Aida on the other one. It was pretty simple, but just realized I didn't say anything about that. This is where I'm at. I have not worked on it since the last video. And it is 32 count Twilight cashel linen, and I started it in January. And I don't know what I love more, the pattern itself or this fabric. This is just so gorgeous. I'm gonna have to get more of this fabric because I absolutely love it. It's like I pull it out and I don't know which I like more, the fabric or the pattern. I love both of them so much. And it's like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, but I got so many other things to do. It's like, okay, just a little bit and then on to something else. So the next one is Bunny Garden. And this one I worked on. This is the Bunny Garden. My goal is to get this one finished this month. But it's by Stitching with the Housewives. And here is where I am at with that. So last time you saw, I can call this one a her. It's a girl with a dress. She's got to be a girl, right? Anyway, I did this piece. So I have these flowers. Those will be right over here. And then I've got the cabbage. That's what it is, Penny. There we go. The cabbage that goes right there. So these are my working threads. And they're still dangling there, but it did get hit with the iron. I just hope I can get that one finished this month. Next one that got some love is Spring. stitching with the housewives. And here's where I'm at with that one. And I've got what last time you saw it, I just had the pink outline done and I just got that black in there. So I got to finish up the windows, do the roof, and I've got the few flowers in here. So this is hopefully it will be done this month as well. I'll be a finishing machine. Next is Falls for Flower, that Autumn Garden collection. And this is by Little Stitch Girl. And I know I didn't say it on the last two. Bunny, sorry, we're gonna go back because I told you I'm gonna try my best to get all these things said. We'll just go back and forth and I'll drive y'all nuts. Bunny Garden is stitched on 32 count lavender cloud fabric, and it was started on February 1. And Spring is stitched on the I seriously had that upside down. Okay. All right, let's try that again. All right, Spring is stitched on the kitted fabric, which is 28 count thin pine board lugana. And I started it, when did I start it? I don't have that written down when I started it. I know I started it I think I started it in February, whenever I got it. Whenever it came in, that's when I started it. I'll have to double check my notes and get that put on there because, oops, that's okay. It won't matter once I finish it this month anyway, right? Okay, let's go back to this one. Flowers for Fall, Little Stitch Girl. And I have this on 14 count vintage oak zweigart. And I started it, I did write down when I started this one, in February of 22. So that one, the spring must have been in February as well, which is what I thought. Anyway, last time you saw it, I had this flower, and these flowers. And I think I had the pot done, but I didn't have the stems. So I got all the little flowers done, the stems, and then these flowers up here. And I've started up on the big flower. So that's very close to being done. And so I worked on this this weekend. So I got that done. And Summer Fairy, my chatelaine Summer Fairy chart. Here's a picture of it. And I had completed part 1, which was this top piece. And part 2 is the fairy. So I started working on the fairy, which is part 2. And there she is. And what you see of the skin is 2/2, where you don't see the skin like in her face, and there's like some more detail down through here. All of that is 1/1. Her hair is a mixture of this part of it is mostly 2/2, and then like right around the face and all of this side is all 1/1. So there was a mixture of that. So that's why it's like, it doesn't look like I got very far, but it was time consuming to do those 1/1 stitches. My goodness. This is 32 count, 32 count Chesapeake Wexford Lugana. And I started this in February. And as you see, I did not take that one out of the hoop because I was like, I am not going to reposition that again when all I did is just that little piece right there, that it doesn't make a difference if I take it out of the hoop or not. So I didn't. The blue flower, Summer Acorns. And this one, for some reason, I was trying to do it weekly and it just wasn't working. So now I'm just working on monthly for the time being, and maybe it'll hit me again. I just got so many other spring things going on that this one just isn't grabbing me right now. But I do want to make progress on it. I do want to finish up some things on it. But right now, this is exactly where you saw it last week or week before that, whenever I last stitched on it. But this is the Summer Acorns. And again, I did not take it out of the hoop because I didn't see any point in it since everything is right there in the hoop anyway. And this one I did in my last video as well, and I have not worked on it. And that is my Excellent Easter. And I hope to have it done end of this month as well. I might spend some time on it this upcoming weekend, seeing as it's Easter. But no change on that one. And my last one is the Sweetheart Tree. April showers brings May flowers. And it's exactly where it was last time you saw it as well. And let's go backwards again, because I did it again. This is 32 count exotic orchid, and it was started February. Excellent is on 14 count ivory Aida, and it was started on 3/1, so it started in March. And the Sweetheart Tree, this is on there it is. I'm looking at my notes going, where is it? I don't see it. Okay, this is on 28 count dense fog Joplin. All right, and unbelievably enough, I actually have a finish. My Owl Forest embroidery is finished. As you see, I had plenty of extra, so I'll cut it off and use that for something. But there's my first finish of April. Look at that, isn't it so pretty? So springy. I can't wait. That'll be episodes for next video, I hope. So, yeah, I had a finish in there. So that was my WIP Parade and a finish. Let's see here. So, updates. Let me grab this stuff. Alright, so updates. On Friday, 4/7, we'll be starting the freebie. There we go, I'll just tilt it that way. The All-American Freebie by Silver Creek Samplers. This will be the Sal that I am putting on with that one Stitcher 171. So that will start then. I did go ahead and post, I know it was last week, I don't know what day last week. Last week I did post on both the Facebook group and the website the free Spring Bunny chart. So if you're wanting that free chart, just head on over to the website or the Facebook group, and the chart's available there for downloading. The other thing I wanted to touch on today is the birthday start. I showed you both Tapestry of Stitches by Jeanette Douglas and the Blue Flowers Autumn Bee. And I asked for help in deciding which one to go with. I am going with the green colorway, or the green fabric, not the purple one. So I am going to go with the green. So just so you have kind of a look of that. And right now, Autumn Bee is winning. So I might be starting Autumn Bee here in the next week or so. But I'll determine that next video. I also asked you to place a vote in comments. You can do that on this video as well. Voting for whether or not I should do Autumn Bee or Tapestry of Stitches. And also the giveaways from last video will also apply to this video, and I'll give them away next video on either the 10th or 11th. But number 1 is Model Flower Book. It's got 20 designs in it. And then here's some of the designs. Nice pretty florals. And it's by Leslie Tier. That's number 1. We're just using numerical numbers. Make life easy. Dragons and Unicorns. And there's 8 charts in this book. And I will ship anywhere. So There's a look-see of that. And then the third one is Design Works Color Garden. Watercolor Garden. Where is it? There it is. Watercolor Garden. And it's a full kit. It's got the threads, the fabrics, all that. So that's a full kit. And that's number 3. So just number 1, 2, 3. And of course you need to be 18. Be a subscriber. Like the video. And put the numeric number of which one you want. And like I said, I'm going to ship it anywhere. So my overseas people, please jump on in there. Give me a vote on what I should do with it, whether it should be autumn bee or the tapestry stitches. Join us for the freebie stitch along if you have the pattern or want to join us on that. And that's all I have for stitchy stuff. That dog, he's laying down being good. Life update. On Friday, I got a call. My mom, she puts it as she crumpled. She basically passed out, fell down, whatever. She says she crumpled. She was standing there and all of a sudden her legs just kind of gave out. And she just kind of crumpled to the ground. She did not hit her head. She didn't break any bones, no bruises. So, okay, good. They took her to, of course, the emergency room. They kept her overnight for observation. She has an AFib, I think. I'm horrible with medical terms. An AFib in her heart or something. I know they put something in there. At any rate, she's on Eliquis, so she's on blood thinners and stuff, so fallen is like really bad for her. But they kept her overnight for observation, found out she was dehydrated, very low magnesium, low blood pressure. And I'm like, don't you take high blood pressure medicine, Mom? Yeah. But you have low blood pressure. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe you shouldn't be taking any high blood pressure medicine then. So, yeah. At any rate, they gave her fluids to help the dehydration. Her magnesium was really low. So they gave her a couple doses of magnesium. And like I said, the blood pressure just kind of checked itself out once she was hydrated and stuff. And the next day they did release her. They did do a whole echogram and stuff on her heart to make sure everything was good with that. No stroke, no anything. So they ruled all that stuff out, which is good. So at any rate, I was supposed to do a wedding on both Saturday and Sunday, and I had to get somebody to fill in for me so I could head across the state and take care of Mom. So I was with her on Saturday and Sunday, so that's why I just did some work on some of my 14 counts. I worked on Freedom and the Fall Flower one is the ones I worked on a little bit. So yeah, that's been fun. So we had to look up good old Google, because like I said, I'm horrible with medical stuff. So I'm like on Google, okay, what kind of food is rich in magnesium? I don't know, take a supplement, but you know, so we looked that up. We talked about her actually eating properly and doing things like that. Or does she want to move in with me? She doesn't like that option. So that means you got to take better care of yourself, Mom. So yeah, so we went through, had a bunch of conversations. I already have power of attorney on her. And so we had some conversations about that. She is going, she's got a doctor's appointment with her regular doctor on the 12th. So next week. So I'll be going back to go to the doctor with her so that I can ask, okay, does she really need this high blood pressure medicine? How is her magnesium? What about this? She's not exercising. I'm getting her to start that. I'm just walking down to her mailbox and back is like exhaustion for her. And I'm like, a lot of that could have been the magnesium, but we're trying to, okay. And she's like, well, I feel unstable. You got a walker right there. Take your walker for a walk. So yeah, I might have to travel back and forth quite a bit in the next couple months on top of it being the height of wedding season. I might be doing some traveling back and forth with checking on mom and making sure she's eating, making sure she's exercising. Dad's at least in a nursing home to where they're taking care of him. Because, yeah. And I did stop off and see him on my way home. And I came home today. And he's doing pretty good. He's getting moved into a private room, so he's happy about that. He's hated the sharing room thing, which I can understand. So he's moving into a private room, so I'll see him again next week as well. But needless to say, I didn't have time to, usually over the weekend and stuff, I'll get you guys some pictures of Beau and stuff like that. I don't have pictures of Beau. That's why I said, you got to see him when he was sneaking out and that kind of thing. He's laying behind my chair right now, sleeping. So no Beau this video, or very little bit of Beau. And I'll get some more in the next video when I have time to kind of prepare a little bit better. But I wanted to get this one going and out of the way, and I wanted to share the WIP Parade because I came up with that idea. I'm like, hey, let me do that. And this way I'm not trying to drag out too long of updates of, okay, well, I worked on this for 10 minutes, that one for 2 hours, and here's a little bit on this one and a little bit on that one. I'm like, well, let's go ahead and start. Maybe we'll do weekly. Maybe that'll be easier on me than have to get out everything and do, although I did get out everything today. But it's like next week, I'll only have to bring out what I've worked on. And then, so it's like if it's 1 week, that might be easier on me than to wait the 2 weeks. So I might try that out for next month or so. We'll see what happens. Play it by ear. We got other issues going on. Like I said, height of my busy season is happening. My birthday, the end of the month, I'm traveling for. Then I'm bringing mom here at the beginning of May because it's her birthday. So she'll be here the end of May visiting. Or beginning of May, beginning of May. The end of May, I've got, of course, it's the holiday, Memorial Day. And in between, it's like those 2 weeks between when mom is here and Memorial Day, because I don't work on holidays. It's just too much. Everybody traveling here and this, that, and the other, and then trying to do weddings around all that. The traffic is horrible. No. So I just don't work on holidays. It's not worth it to me. So I won't be working during that weekend. So it's like that gives me 2 weekends, which of course are already like jam-packed. I try not to stack weddings. I used to stack weddings pretty good. I'd have like 5 weddings on a Saturday. Boom, 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 boom. Every 2 hours I'm moving somewhere else and taking more photos. If it was the same location, perfect. If not, travel and do it. But now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, I don't stack weddings like that anymore. I do like maybe 2 if I'm gonna stack it all, and that's like 1 at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then 1 like at sunset on the beach or something, because then it's like a good break in between. Yeah, except for in May, because I knew I was only going to be working for about 2 weeks. So I've got my normal 8 to 10 weddings in that 2 week period. It's like, so it's going to be hard to keep up with stitching and back and forth with mom and this and that. So we'll see what happens with May when May gets here. Right now, let's get through April and that kind of thing. But I just wanted to update you on the fact of, kind of changing up my schedule a little bit, that kind of a thing. If you subscribed, hit the notification bell, you'll just see my videos when they pop up. Can't really guarantee anything as things are kind of up in the air with me right now. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. I kept seeing all these notifications of all these videos. I'm like so far behind now. I'm like, my God, there's about like 10 videos for me to catch up on. And it's like, okay, I'll catch up on them eventually during this week. I only have 1 this week. Tomorrow I've got a sunset wedding on the beach, sunset on the beach tomorrow. Other than that, I'm off for the rest of the week and Easter. So I'm like, don't work on the holidays. So I'm off next weekend, or this upcoming weekend. And then I've got some next week and on. But for this week, it's halfway calm, so I can catch up on things. And yeah, run back to Greenville if need be. Hopefully not need be. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope you're having a good spring and everything's warming up and everything's blooming and being pretty. And I will catch you next video. Thanks. Bye.